What's going on, everybody? King Jack here. Today is fight day. Today is the rematch for Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Just wanted to drop a little video on it. I actually had a few questions from some of the people that know about fighting and know that I fight. They asked me, who did I have? I had a handful of people that asked me. For the first fight, I wanted Wilder to win. I genuinely did. Not just because I'm a fan of Wilder, but I'm a fan of anyone from Alabama who makes it as far as, any profession, like any type of worldwide profession that gives you said notoriety. I say that because you don't really hear too much about people from Alabama, going far in essentially anything. You'll hear, like, every once in a blue moon, like maybe a rapper or maybe some really good kid in college, like the University of Alabama. They're known for like high-level athletes in college and stuff like that. But Auburn too. But you don't really hear them. You don't really hear too much about it from the professional levels and stuff like that. But my pick for their first fight was Wilder. That was my pick. Now, as a fan of Wilder, I thought he won. As a fan of Wilder. As a fan of boxing, you cannot deny the success Fury had. Aside from the 2 rounds that Tyson Fury had with got dropped by Wilder, aside from those 2 rounds, Fury has a solid case that he won that first fight. From a fan of boxing, Fury did get the better of a handful of the exchanges. He was touching him up with a jab, able to sneak the right hand in sometimes, started whipping the hook in a few of those exchanges. He had really good head movement. He made Wilder miss a good amount of those right hands and those hooks. But that's what happens when you go to the judges. That's also what happens when a fight is that close. I also think that if Wilder didn't drop Fury, he may have walked away with that belt. Fury probably would have walked away with it. But that's the beauty of rematches. That's the beauty of a fight ending in a draw, and now they get to do it again. Rematches are genuinely about who makes the small adjustments, who makes the adjustments required in order to actually come up and win the rematch. If I was Wilder and I'm going into a rematch with a man that I dropped not once but twice, what would I do? If I was Wilder, okay, you gotta look at Fury as a whole. He's slightly taller. They did the weigh-in, so Fury is much bigger. I think he put on like maybe 15, 20 pounds-ish. I can't remember how much he weighed in that first fight, but Fury weighed in the 270s. If I'm Wilder, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at that weight. I'm looking at his last 2 fights. I'm looking at everything. To me, like I said, if I was Wilder, I need to use my jab to close the distance. I think Wilder is slightly more athletic. Well, he's more athletic. I feel Wilder can close the distance and get that right hand off. I genuinely think Wilder can do that. He did it before. He can do it again. He genuinely can. He needs to get close enough, uncork that right hand, and he'll drop Fury. He's done it twice. So I have no doubt that Wilder can do it a 3rd time, maybe even a 4th time if Fury gets back up. I'm fairly certain Fury would get back up, but if it's a flush shot to where Fury's out cold, Fury's not getting up. Also, Wilder would need to be a little patient, just a little patient. If you look at Wilder's fights, he is, aside from maybe the Ortiz fight and maybe the Szpilka fight, Wilder can be a little gung-ho, can be a little bit of a gunfighter, really just stepping forward, blasting, coming forward behind a really hard 1-2. I think they did the little ESPN thing when I was at the UFIT, because I got a UFIT down the street from me. They said that Wilder throws his right hand at like 25 miles an hour, which is pretty good considering it's a limb and not, you know what I'm saying, someone just running like a bat out of hell. He's throwing that right hand like a bat out of hell. And, you know, they're heavyweights, so that's a hell of a lot of impact. So if I'm Wilder, close the distance, or jab my way in, close the distance. Another thing, jab my way in, close the distance, get the right hand off. I was about to say, yes, I think Wilder should go to the body. Fury's got a giant torso. Hit Fury in that torso. That is what I would do. Close the distance, get the right hand off, and go to the body also. Sometimes, like from the first fight, Wilder was headhunting. Like I said, that kind of a gunslinger personality. Step forward, trying to knock his head off. Sometimes you're not going to hit that tiny target, that tiny. I don't want to say he's got a tiny head, but sometimes you're not going to be able to hit that head. So go to the body. Attack the body, the head will follow. Kill the body, the head will die. And that'll set up the right hand to the head. Now, if I'm Fury, who weighed in, I think, 276, maybe? Fury has about maybe 30 or 40 pounds on Wilder. About 30, 40 pounds on Wilder, because Wilder, this is actually the most Wilder actually weighed also. I think Wilder usually walks around weighs in at around maybe the 218-ish, maybe 220. I think that's probably the heaviest. This most recent weigh-in was the heaviest he's actually, been in. Now, if I am Fury, as I said, I would come in, I weigh in at 270-ish, whatever it was. I actually missed the weigh-ins. I was pretty occupied last night. I was worried about my fight coming up on March 7th. So I've been doing a lot of running and a lot of training on my own. So I kind of missed the weigh-ins. But Fury weighs in, like I said, 270-ish. To me, as a heavyweight, if I was a heavyweight, but then again, at the same time, I'm not as tall as Fury. Fury is taller, slightly longer, and he's proven that he can box a whole 12 rounds. So if I'm Fury, I think as long as I'm as nimble or able to move like I did when I fought Wilder the first time, and also at heavyweight, as long as, these are big guys. These are huge guys. So the weight does make a difference. I think being that he's heavier now, like much heavier, I think that not only can he withstand more power, more of an onslaught that would come his way, he could definitely, give off a bigger punch because now you're a bigger man. I think that as long as Fury can use that range like he did the first time, start jabbing Wilder, put that right hand behind it, put that hook behind it, and then dance off like he did the first time, yes, I think Fury can actually dance his way around it. He can touch him up the entire round, maybe get the decision. But Fury said he wants to put Wilder out. So maybe he's going to sit down on that right hand, sit down on that hook after he starts touching him with those jabs. So I think that's what could happen. I think if I'm Fury, I think I need to do what I did the first fight, just do it better. Do it when I say do it better, like I said, sit down on that right hand, sit down on that hook. Fury has made a lot of money just boxing people at heavyweight. Yes, he's dropped a few people. Yes, he's knocked more than half of the opponents he's fought. He's knocked them out. But if I'm Fury, I'm going to utilize my jab, put the combos together, and movement, constant movement. I think that when Fury did the thing where he would, use his head movement to try and dodge shots, Wilder is definitely a smart fighter. He didn't go to the Olympics just because he had a right hand alone. He actually has a good IQ. I think that if Fury was to stay up against the ropes like he did the first time and just utilize head movement to, dodge shots, the first time Wilder dropped him, he made the adjustment. He actually kept Fury up against the ropes, adjust his feet to cut the angle, and then got that right hand off, and then that left hook after it, dropping Fury. If I'm Fury, I'm going to not be up against the ropes to where Wilder can actually make his adjustments to his shots and then drop him again. So if I'm Fury, combinations, use the reach, and don't get on the ropes. If Fury dances the entire time, he has a much better chance at walking away with this belt. That's how I look at the fight. If I'm Fury, if I'm Wilder, that's what I would do. So I guess now it's just what I want to do. Well, who would I go for? As I said before at the beginning of the video, I'm a fan of anybody who comes from Alabama. Essentially everybody who comes from Alabama. So, case in point, my good friend, Trustin Vines, he is currently 2-0 as a pro. Trustin is from Camp Hill, Alabama. Me and him trained together. He is an exceptional fighter. He's going to be big in welterweight. He's going to be a phenomenal fighter. He already is. He's just, I guess, need a bigger platform. When I say that, I'm not saying anything bad about Strike Hard, but I think a platform where he could have more exposure as to who he is as an extremely good fighter, he would be further. But I'm still a fan because, well, I'm reiterating at this point. But who I got for the rematch, I got Wilder. Can Fury win? Yes. Do I think Fury's going to pull it off? Nah. I don't think he's going to do it. But it's boxing, and it's also heavyweight boxing. Literally one punch can change the course of the fight. They said in the trailer, the rematch will make history. So, we're about to find out. That's my pick. That's my take on it. That's what I would do if I was both men. So, we're going to see what happens tonight. I got team training a little bit later. So, try and stay loose, stay stretched out so I can go do that. After that, I'm going to go catch that fight. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Check us out.